All right, let's jump right in. Today we're looking at a story that is, well, it's pretty intense. It's one of those moments that really makes you stop and think. We've got this huge national celebration that suddenly turns into a tragedy. It's all about a man named Uzzah, and how doing something that seemed right ended up having the ultimate consequence.
And really, this is the question that just hangs over this entire story, isn't it? I mean, from the outside looking in, a guy tries to stop something sacred from hitting the dirt, and for his trouble, he's struck down. It just doesn't sit right, does it? It feels so unfair. So what is going on here? Let's dig in and find out.
So before we can even get to why this happened, we've got to look at exactly what happened. Let's zero in on that single, shocking moment that's so hard to wrap our heads around.
Okay, so picture this. Everything's moving along, there's this big procession, and then they get to this place, a threshing floor. Suddenly, the oxen stumble. And just like that, pure instinct, right? Uzzah reaches out his hand to steady the ark so it doesn't fall, and bam! In that exact instant, he's struck down. It was so fast, so shocking, and that was it.
And the text is just incredibly blunt about it. There's no room for interpretation. It says he died right then and there for putting his hand on the ark. That's the cause and effect we're given. It's this stark, stunning event that we really need to get to the bottom of.
But here's what makes this whole thing even crazier. This tragedy didn't happen in a vacuum. It happened during what was supposed to be one of the best days for the entire nation. This wasn't some spur-of-the-moment thing. It was a huge, carefully planned event. So let's back up a little and get the full picture.
So this is all King David's idea. He's pretty new on the throne, and he has this big, noble plan. He wants to bring the Ark of the Covenant back to the center of the nation's life. I mean, this thing is the ultimate symbol of their identity, and it's basically been sitting in storage for years. So his heart is absolutely in the right place, you know? He wants to unify everyone.
And you've got to give him credit. He does it right, or so he thinks. This isn't some top-down decree. Nope. He talks to all his leaders. He sends messages out to every corner of Israel. He gets everybody involved. And the text makes it super clear. The plan seemed right to all the people. Everyone was on board. The intention was great. The mission was unifying. What could go wrong?
You have to imagine the scene. The energy must have been incredible. It was a massive party. The whole nation is out there, and the text says they were celebrating with all their might. Think about that. We're talking music, singing, harps, lyres, trumpets, the whole 9 yards. This was supposed to be an all-time high for the nation. Total unity, total joy.
Okay, so let's pause. The motive was good. The people were united. The celebration was genuine. So where did this go so terribly wrong? This is where we have to shift from why they were doing it to how they were doing it. The details really matter here.
All right, so here's their game plan. Step 1, get the ark from the house it's been in for ages. Step 2, put it on a cart. And not just any cart, a new cart. You can see they're trying to be respectful, right? Step 3, have Uzzah and his brother Ahio lead the way. It all sounds logical, practical, but that one detail, the cart, that's the fatal flaw. There were very specific instructions for how to move the ark, and a cart wasn't it. It was supposed to be carried, using poles, on the shoulders of a specific group of people, the Levites.
And this really gets to the heart of the matter. On one hand, the ark is this amazing symbol of God's blessing and presence. But on the other hand, it's not just a symbol. It's presented as an object of intense, almost dangerous holiness. It's kind of like handling raw electricity. You don't just grab it. There are rules, there's a protocol for a reason. And they were ignoring the instructions.
So as you can imagine, Uzzah's death just shatters the entire vibe. The party is over. That joy instantly turns to fear. And what King David does next, well, it takes the story in a direction nobody saw coming. And David's first reaction? He's angry. And can you blame him? He's probably thinking, wait, what? I did all this to honor God, and this is what happens? He's completely baffled, and that confusion comes out as anger.
But that anger fades pretty fast, and it's replaced by just pure fear. It's a sudden, chilling realization that he's completely out of his depth here. So he just pulls the plug on the whole operation. He basically says, nope, I'm done. How can I possibly handle this? And he just leaves the ark right there, at the house of some guy named Obadiah. So for 3 whole months, there's this pause. The ark, this object that is now a source of both awe and absolute terror, is just sitting in someone's house. The big plan is off, and the whole nation is probably just waiting, wondering, what now? And then comes the twist you didn't see coming.
Get this. The exact same object that was associated with Uzzah's death now brings an incredible, overwhelming blessing to this guy Obed-Edom and his entire family. The text says God blessed everything he had. Wow. What a contrast, right? It's the ultimate proof that the ark itself wasn't the problem. It was all about how it was treated.
So, what are we supposed to make of all this? You've got this wild roller coaster of a story, from this massive celebration to a horrifying tragedy, and then to this quiet, surprising blessing. What's the point of it all? What's the lesson? Well, for one thing, David makes sure nobody ever forgets what happened. He actually names the spot Perez Uzzah, which means outbreak against Uzzah. It's like putting up a permanent historical marker. It's now literally on the map, a constant reminder in their history of a very, very hard lesson.
And this finally brings us back to the big question we started with. Why was Uzzah killed? And here's the answer the story seems to give us. David's intentions, A+, totally honorable. He wanted to bring the nation together and honor God. But his actions, they were flawed. They ignored the specific sacred rules. They treated this profoundly holy object like it was just another piece of furniture to be moved on a cart. And the takeaway seems to be that when you're dealing with something truly sacred, good intentions just aren't the whole story. The how matters just as much as the why.
And that really leaves us with something to chew on, doesn't it? I mean, this is an ancient story, but the core idea feels pretty modern. It makes you ask yourself, right? In our own lives, when is meaning well not good enough? When do our good intentions not cover for the fact that we went about something the wrong way or that the result was actually harmful? That's a big question, and definitely one worth thinking about.